Mr. B, XRP here, and welcome back. I have got a jam-packed video for you today. Some great information, killer clips. You're going to love it. You're going to want every bit of it. I've got some huge XRP ETF news. Experts are calling for a bull run in the very near future. And I've also got those same experts making new price predictions that I think you're going to want to hear. So let's jump right into it. On Coin Paprika, let's see. Our fear index is at 28. It was at 26 yesterday, so it is a little bit lower. Bitcoin is at 90,594. Ethereum's at 3,108. Wait till you hear what the experts think Ethereum's going to go to in short order. Tether's holding comfortably at $1, and XRP's at $2.07. So let's jump right into it. The first thing I want to tell you is on the ETF tracker, and I'm going to refresh. We are at $1 billion. So since the spot ETFs have been launched, we now just crossed $1 billion. So Canary Capital, Bitwise, Rex Osprey, Franklin Templeton, and Grayscale all added to that number. With Canary Capital, let's see, Canary Capital, they absolutely had the most. But we have crossed $1 billion, so congratulations, here we are. And that is some fantastic news. So there is Binance Blockchain Week is going on in Dubai right now. And they've got Tom Lee out there. And Tom Lee is dropping some numbers and dropping some of his crypto knowledge. We've got a couple of clips from Tom Lee, but you're going to want to hear it. So let's listen to the first one.
So if you're bearish on crypto or you think the best days are behind us because of the last 10 years, I'm going to disagree. Keep in mind today, there's only 4.4 million Bitcoin wallets that have more than $10,000, okay? By contrast, there's almost 900 million individuals around the world with more than $10,000 in their retirement accounts. So if Bitcoin were to be held by all these accounts, that's a 200 times increase in adoption. That's still, to me, exponential and hypergrowth. And Bank of America Fund Manager Survey still shows 67% of fund managers have zero allocation to Bitcoin. Wall Street wants to tokenize all financial products. And keep in mind, financial products today, if you include real estate, it's almost $1 quadrillion that they want to put onto the blockchain. And then, of course, in the agentic world, it's going to create a need for decentralized trust and security, of course, which is what blockchain solves. So to me, I think the best years are still ahead.
Yeah, and look, I agree with everything he's saying there. Look, if you're here, you're still early. If you just got here today, you're still early. Certainly everybody wishes they got in on Bitcoin and XRP and Ethereum, 5 years ago, 8 years ago, 10 years ago. But I still think now is a great time. I think we have so many new investors coming, which reminds me, I have a training program. If you're newer to digital assets or you have a family member, a friend, or a colleague that's new to digital assets and they want to get up to speed on what they're all about, how they work, and all that good stuff, I have something called Blockchain Bootcamp. It's a training program. I have one course is for retail investors, another course is for financial advisors that has some more financial advisor-centric information. You can visit cryptocoachnick.com and take a look at all the modules and all the education you get from these programs. And if you'd like a 25% discount, use the discount code XRP589, and that's at cryptocoachnick.com. So check it out if you want to round out your crypto knowledge or help someone else do it as well. Okay, this was SEC Chair Paul Atkins. People ask me every day, because I talk about tokenization and how I think the greatest use case for digital assets is going to be tokenization in the financial services world. And people ask me all the time, is it going to take 10 years? Is it going to take 20 years? I think it's happening right now, and I think that it's going to be apparent to most everyone in the next 2 to 5 years. But let's see what Paul Atkins has to say.
I expect this is where financial services is going. Are the major banks and the brokers out there today moving increasingly toward tokenization?
Oh, absolutely, and it's the way the world will be. Here in that, I mean, maybe not even in 10 years, maybe even a lot less time, maybe a couple of years from now. So I think that all of this modernization of the markets, I think, is good, and the trouble that we've seen here over the past few years is that the SEC, unlike historically, it never was necessarily at the vanguard of pushing new innovations. It was always a little bit behind the market, of course. But here recently, it's been almost standing athwart the marketplace, and as it's as all these new innovations were coming about. So that's no more. We're actually embracing it, and I believe that we need to be embracing it to keep the United States at the forefront.
Wow. So he said couple of years. Look, it's happening now, and it's happening faster than anyone ever expected, especially when you look at where we were at with the SEC not too very long ago. So that's exciting stuff. This was from Eric Trump. And by the way, I go into tokenization very deeply in my blockchain bootcamp program because I'm so passionate about it. Eric Trump had posted this: American Bitcoin keeps climbing. So this is bitcointreasury.net, shows the largest Bitcoin holders, corporate Bitcoin holders. And let's see where he's at here. American Bitcoin. Where is American Bitcoin? They're 23rd on the list. That's pretty amazing to be there that quickly. And that is a Trump-owned company right there. So they are moving toward the top of the list, and we know they're pretty aggressive about it. This was also Paul Atkins, SEC Chair Paul Atkins, when it comes to the Clarity Act. So let's hear what he had to say about the Clarity Act.
Now, there's a market structure bill that's going through, the Clarity Act that was passed by the House. And so that we'll see where that goes in Congress. And so I'm hoping that they'll be able to get that through.
We got to get that passed. I mean, we've got to get that passed as soon as possible. I know that it says in here, Charles Hoskinson from Cardano was saying it would be passed in Q1 of 2026, but we've got to get that thing passed as soon as possible. This was posted by Jungle Inc. Breaking news: Bank of America opens the floodgates for crypto. So we did hear that Bank of America was going to start offering crypto, and it's actually as of today. Starting January 5th, advisors at Bank of America, Private Bank, Merrill, and Merrill Edge will be able to recommend crypto allocations directly to clients. No wealth threshold, no restrictions to only Bitcoin. Full advisor guided exposure through ETFs and ETPs. So Bank of America is in the game as of today, and it will be interesting to see how those things go. This is a former PayPal president, and he has something to say about what he thinks the future of Bitcoin is. I think you should hear it.
I think let's call it this way. I think fast Bitcoin, whether it's Lightning, Spark, a combination of Spark and Lightning, I don't know. But I think fast, real-time, trustless, as much as possible, trustless Bitcoin will definitely move all of the money in the world. And it's just a matter of when, not a matter of if. And I'm talking about trillions of dollars a day. I'm absolutely convinced of that. It's just really how long is it going to take? And my hope is we get to build this when I can still see it and enjoy it.
This was the old narrative of Bitcoin, that Bitcoin would become the world currency, and then it went away due to Bitcoin's, being, not being as scalable, being slow, and being very expensive to use, and people moved away from that, and that's when it became that that store of value, that digital gold that it's referred to. It's interesting to hear somebody bringing back that narrative, because I haven't heard that narrative for a long time. So Tom Lee, Tom Lee says Bitcoin and crypto haven't bottomed, and let's hear what he has to say. And this is at the Binance function that's going on right now in Dubai.
Number two, I think crypto prices have bottomed, and I think that in the next 8 weeks, we're going to shatter the Bitcoin 4-year cycle. I don't think it's going to be a 4-year cycle this time.
Yeah, so he believes that they have bottomed. I'm sorry if I said they hadn't bottomed, but he believes they have bottomed, and we're going to shatter the Bitcoin 4-year cycle. I've got one more video of Tom that's really going to be interesting. This was from Rand Neuner. Rand Neuner also believes the 4-year cycle. He says the 4-year cycle was a lie. The real bull market only starts now. And he goes on to talk about his reasoning in that. And I go to the bottom and he says, and historically, we've never entered a bear market while liquidity is expanding. So maybe the 4-year cycle didn't break. Maybe it never existed to begin with. It just happened to be overlapped with the liquidity cycle. And maybe the real bull run starts now. So a lot of these long-term Bitcoin maximalist type of folks really believe that we're still going to be entering the bull cycle, as well as Raul Paul. And I'm going to give you a little, let's just dip into Raul Paul because he talks about it as well.
Why is Bitcoin sort of not wildly off to the races yet? And it's this chart. Bitcoin is basically, this is a detrended Bitcoin, and it's basically the ISM, which is the business cycle. Remember, we've always said it's the business cycle stupid. It is always the business cycle stupid. And all of these people who claim it's the 4-year cycle based around this and that, they don't understand the fundamental of what the business cycle is, why there's a 4-year cycle in everything. We've explained it. We'll go through it in great detail tomorrow in our Everything Code presentation. But basically, it's following the ISM. And rates have been following the same pattern. You see, rates should have come lower. They need to come lower because we need to roll the debt. We've talked about this. That's part of the Everything Code, fundamental part. And ISM, because rates are so high, has meant that Main Street has been screwed while Wall Street's made money from debasement. Earnings versus scarce assets. This is the issue that they need to solve, and they need to get rates lower. They get rates lower, why? Why do we have an elongated business cycle that looks like virtually no other real other time? It's because, and I only just found this out redoing the work on the Everything Code recently, is that in 2021-22, they actually extended the maturity of the debt from 4 years to 5 years. So that extension of the maturity of debt has pushed out the business cycle a year. The 4-year cycle this time around is a 5-year cycle. We don't know what the next one will be until we see where they all end up getting refinanced. Whether it comes back to 4 because they managed to get some stuff at the long end, or whether they shorten it because everything's in the short end. We don't know yet. But this one is a 5-year cycle. And this is what it looks like. 5.4-year sine curve. 5.4 years is the exact average weighted maturity of the debt.
So, all right, I'm going to cut it there. I'm going a little long on that one. But he believes that we're going to move into the 5-year cycle at this point, and we've been hearing this suspicion for some time now, and he seems to think that's where we're going. I want to now jump into what Tom Lee says, because this is probably one of the most bold predictions I've heard yet.
Well, what does that mean for Ethereum's price? Well, I think Bitcoin's going to get to 250,000 within a few months. And if Ethereum price ratio to Bitcoin gets back to its 8-year average, that's $12,000 for Ethereum. I mean, that's a huge move. If it gets to the 2021 highs, that's $22,000 for Ethereum. But I think Ethereum is going to become the future of finance, the payment rails of the future. And if it gets to 0.25 relative to Bitcoin, that's 62,000. So I think Ethereum at 3,000, of course, is grossly undervalued.
$62,000 if it becomes the rails of our new financial system, which we just heard the previous PayPal president believe that it was going to be Bitcoin, and Tom Lee now believes it's going to be Ethereum. I think they're going to have two very different use cases, and I think Bitcoin's going to keep being what it is right now, which is that store of value. But Ethereum certainly has they both have a very bright future. But $62,000 is about the highest I ever heard. The last thing I'm just going to say is, and I'm not going to play the video, is President Trump signed an executive order yesterday that people will be able to write off interest on car loans. Now, that does not apply to leases, which a lot of people in the United States lease their cars. So you don't get any tax benefit for the leases in this new executive order. It's only for purchases, and you can write off, I think it's up to $10,000 a year. So guys, that's it for this one. If you're not subscribed to my channel, now's the time. Become one of my people and subscribe. Please share my videos with you think anybody who might appreciate them. Hit the like button. It helps me a lot. I'm not a financial advisor. This video is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Always do your own research. See you next time. Bye-bye. For my Blockchain Bootcamp crypto educational program, please visit cryptocoachnick.com. And be sure to use the discount code XRP589 for 25% off. There's also a link in the description of this video.